Alright, time to get rid of my comfortable stick-up shoes, right? Yeah. So, George back at it. Different project today. So, I want to get a better video because I'm getting too many thumbs down, and I don't know why. I'm just showing you where to access the buttons, but oh well. Do another one and show you more dismantling of this unit. So first thing you want to do is unplug the unit. As you can see, it's unplugged. And remove some of this cord. And I have a vast array of screwdrivers here. But a number 2 Phillips will pretty much do most of what you want. You can head down to Target and get yourself one of these for about 10 bucks. A little Black & Decker electric screwdriver that runs on AA's. Top ones, there's 3 screws right at the top cap. I'm just going to remove the large screw here, and that's what holds on the handle. Remove that screw. Handle will slide right out. Nozzle, of course, everybody knows that. Push the button up front. That comes off. Now most people get to a certain point and can't figure it out from there. If you see my other video, a lot of views, a lot of people watch it, but not too many people do thumbs up. There's a few that leave comments, and thank you for those people. But so I won't lose the screws. I put them right back inside. This cap will need to come off sooner or later. There's not too much water in there, so don't worry about that. But if you have water in the unit, you might want to pour it out. Of course, do this while it's cold. Do not do this while it's hot. Let it cool off. So there are many screws, as you can see. You take off the 2 up here at the shoulder. Oops. Okay. Now, in order to remove this gray cover and this chrome cover and this white cover, 2 things need to happen first. Take a small razor blade and I use this to get underneath the label where it says steam control, like so. You don't want to peel that back until you expose the 2 screws underneath, which are also the same number 2 Phillips. And you want to get a screwdriver. If you use a power driver, you're going to need a bit that's long and skinny so that it'll fit into the deep recesses of the plastic, because some of these screws can be recessed. So now that comes loose. Once you remove that, this gray cover can now be removed. And this little white piece is what happened to me the first time when I tried to figure out how to take it apart. So, but it's all for the good of everybody else. Now, people have told me they have this unit dismantled so far, and never thought of to look under these labels. As you can see, here's the center one. Lay it right underneath it. Be careful, don't cut yourself. Peel off the sticker. Make sure it's sticky side up. And there's 2 more screws underneath this one. And again, this is the Shark Steam Mop Pro Steam Mop Pocket Mop. What was this again? The S3601. Yes, I like Shark. I got a lot of Shark. Something seemed to have happened to have a lot of dust on it. Okay. So, back to what we were doing. Moving these 2 covers, and sometimes it's slightly stuck, but it'll come off. Now you removed the front panel to this gray cover, which you can now lift off and remove. This cable will slide along its point, and which screws in it. At this point, I'm going to point out something. If you have a bad connection, you need to fix the wiring. This is where you can pull back some cable if it's on this end and move it down and fix that. So now we're going to take off this chrome plate, which has 2 screws. And for ease of handling, I like sliding this quite a bit down, so I have some room to work with and it doesn't really move around. Three screws from there. May have been 4. It's taken it apart so many times. Just 2 underneath this little LED setup. So you want to remove those 2 as well. Once you remove this little LED back, be careful. There's a set of cables. Wiggle this little Molex connector off. And there you have it. Got that removed. Once you remove that part, this chrome color should pop right off like so. Slide that all the way down to where the end of the cable goes. To get it over this takes a little bit of maneuvering. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. In this case, you're not going to be able to. So, I'm just going to leave that with that. So, we are now to the point of just a simple white case, much easier to take apart. And now you have access to the 2 top screws, which most people can't get to because they don't know how to remove those buttons. So, I'm going to remove these 2 top number 2 Phillips again. That's all I've been using, one single screwdriver so far. You might need a flat to separate the casing, but sometimes, usually most cases, it comes apart with that. Loosen all four of these. And holding it one-handed, this drives me crazy. So. I'm doing this on the kitchen floor because most people would probably be doing it right here on the kitchen floor. All the screws together. We are now left with the open case. Now, for ease of handling, you may want to remove this front button right up front, which all we'll take is, again, number 2 Phillips. We'll remove one screw. So, loosen the other, lift and turn it out the way, and remove the top screw. Memory card ran out on me there. So, we just removed the button. That top screw I just replaced, and then sometimes this little fiber washer comes off, sometimes it doesn't. But I believe it's glued in place. The other time, I think it just came out, and I can't remember if I glued it back in place or... Yeah, anyways. So, once you want to remove this heater, there are 4 screws on either side, and I myself just loosen them to the point where the screw comes off, and then reinsert the screw. So in other words, take off the screw completely, then I reinsert and tighten it a few turns. In this orientation, it should want to lift, rotate out, simply lift that one side of the brackets out of the way, lift the other, and now this has been removed. You can now have access to the hose up top where you can just squeeze and release it. However, I find it easier just to release it from this bottom nozzle here. And in order to do that, it takes 4 more screws, and they are at the top of either side of this heater core, whatever you want to call it, the steamer. And there's 2 underneath it at the bottom. And the tank has 2 more at the top, but I'm not going to remove the tank for now. I'm just going to loosen the top. If you want to get to the electronics, there's 2 screws here, one here, and you can remove the other things that look like Molex connectors. But at this point, most cases it's just here and here. If it's a bad cord, you swap out these cables here, replace these connections. And as you can see here, now this is loose. This hose just feeds out from the back right here and comes right out. And assembly is the reverse of how I dismantled it. So hopefully this helps. A few tips: once you get this back in, watch your cables up top. Put them in afterwards so that they're out of your way. this sponge will sit underneath here, and when you want to replace the heater, simply separate these two metal plates, place them back together, put the hose back on. I like to tighten the heater first before I tighten the gray case myself. If you remove these all the way, and if you're not careful, there's some fiber washers underneath these metal plates that insulate it from the heat to prevent the plastic from melting. So here I'm just going to tighten these up. And I'm going to place this back in its original position, and it'll find this little niche. The screw sits over the top lip. Tighten your screws. Three screws, and then that unit's back together there. You can see it's been heating up. Now steams. Loosen the cap to prime it. Memory card's full. Peace out. Have a good one.